Good evening. We call to order the regular meeting of the West Valley City Council. We note that we have 6 members of the council present. Councilman Jake Simano is excused this evening. We will begin tonight with an opening ceremony. Councilmember Don Christensen is in charge of that tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. Last month, as we celebrated Veterans Day, we had a dinner here in West Valley City for the veterans, and a group presented the colors at that dinner that I didn't know existed. And so as a proud graduate of Granger High School, I invited them here tonight. The Granger High School Air Force Junior ROTC will conduct our flag ceremony for us. I'd like to introduce them. Their teacher is Major Matthew Wilson. We have Junior Rifleman Cadet Wansowski, Senior Rifleman Cadet Tron. The American Flag Bearer is Cadet Yardley. The Utah Flag Bearer, Cadet Martinez. And the vocalist is Cadet Merchant. So we'll turn the time over to them.
Forward, hard. Left, left, left. Color guard, halt. Left, haste. Present, arm.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so grandly streaming, and the rockets' regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, arm. Switch the colors. Left, haste. Forward, hard.
Major Wilson, thank you very much.
Thank you. Tonight we also have some scout groups here tonight. And so traditionally we invite one of your young men to come and introduce the troop. By introduce, we don't mean give us all their names. It's your troop number. We just say the general area, maybe identify the schools you attend, and then what you're doing here tonight, what you're working on. So let's see, we'll start over here. If you'll come up to this.
This mic works. We are scouts from Troop 96 and 815. We are from the Hunter area, and we are here for the completion of the citizenship in the community merit badge.
Very good, thank you. And over here. Yeah, either way works.
We are Scout Troop 672. We are from the Kearns, Rose Park, and West Valley City areas. Tonight we are working on our citizenship in the community merit badge.
Okay, thank you very much. Any others? Did that cover all the scouts that are here? Okay. With that then, we get to our regular agenda. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from November 27th to the council for a motion on the minutes.
Move for approval of the November 27, 2018 minutes.
Second.
Properly force, any comments? Looks like it's okay. Then all in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Passes unanimously. The minutes are approved. And now we turn to Councilman Don Hume for our Employee of the Month Award.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it very much. Nick Coleman is here today. So please stand up. Yeah, thank you. Nick Coleman Fitness Center's facility supervisor, nominated by Melissa Catton and Jamie Young. The Family Fitness Center had 2 key employees on maternity leave from the first week of July until the end of September. During that day, Nick Coleman literally did the jobs of 3 people. His job as facility supervisor of programming and administrative duties. Often, he would have a phone ringing to employees at the door, a radio page, and customer at the front desk. He jumped into every task, figuring out details, and he went with a smile on his face, even when things went awry. Nick demonstrated a high level of job dedication while working extra hours to complete necessary tasks to avoid a backlog of work. Nick always go the extra mile to handle difficult situations with empathy and outstanding customer service, and is the first to offer help when a new program is implemented. He participates in both employee and professional committees, runs events, coaches teams, or acts as a referee, and is a professional, gracious, and patient with the young staff members, co-workers, and patrons. He laughs a lot, often calling from his office that I'm going to accomplish so much today. Or all email has now been answered. It's a pleasure to work with Nick because he is so positive. Every day he gives 110%, and his vast background in parks and recreation, willingness to help, and his exemplary people skills make him a critical member of the fitness center team. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations. Can you come up here, Nick?
Since he's coming up here, last night we saw him in action over at the fitness center. He was helping Santa Claus at our annual meet and greet with Santa Juan. Now, if you can hold all that. Now how are you going to shake hands? That shows you're pretty dexterous. Thanks. Good job. Well, we certainly appreciate the many great employees we have in West Valley City, and we have their staff here supporting them. And I don't know if you have any other special guests besides staff? No? I was wondering about the one. So, okay. Thank you all for being here. and you have an enjoyable evening. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is the comment period. And for not just for those who might speak, because it looks like those who are on the list have spoken before, but so the scouts are aware. In our meetings, we have public comment. People can come and speak on any issue that they want. However, your elected officials, the council, are not allowed to have policy discussions unless we have publicly put it on our agenda and notified people in advance. That's to protect the public so that we don't talk about things that make decisions when they're not aware. Part of our responsibility is make sure that everything we do is out in front of the citizens. So you'll note that when they make comments, we don't really get into a debate. It's not question and answer. They just come and make their statements on their issue, and we hear them and kind of go from there. If we want to further pursue those issues, we would have to put it on our future agenda so that we could have then a policy discussion on it. So we're not being mean, we just don't do that. Then the other thing I would mention, since I've been talking about that, we don't have a long agenda, but we may not ask many questions because this will be the second time these items are presented to us. So we've had a chance to discuss them and ask questions and find out more about those issues. In our meeting last week, we have a study meeting, and we had a study meeting earlier tonight for those items that will be on our agenda next week. So just with that information, we're going to go now to public comment. And let's see, Jim Visak is on there, the first one.
Good evening, Mayor. I've been here for several weeks now. Once again, I'm asking that the pet ordinance be put on the docket. I was informed that you guys did talk about it a little bit in the study meeting today, and that it may be on a future docket, that it is coming up. And if you want to confirm that later on, that's okay. The numbers I have from the shelter, I've been bringing them every week. This week they're kind of vague. Dave had already left and they wouldn't give me the exact numbers. They just said it's well over 100 on the cats and over 50 for the dogs. 8 of them went to the Humane, 8 cats went to the Humane Society this week. Kind of good news and bad news for me, the cat that I was trying to adopt was one of those 8 that went to the Humane Society, and it looks like she may have found her forever home. But that still doesn't change my resolve. I still want to adopt another cat, and there's well over 100 of them there to be adopted. So I hope you put it on the docket and we make changes so that I'm able to adopt the 3rd cat. That's it for me. I'll pass it on
Okay,
to somebody else.
thank you. And then Kelly Bertosh, welcome back.
Long time no see. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and all the other wonderful people at the back table. It has been a while. Not that I've been avoiding you, I've been a facilitator for the LDS Family Services and in Drug and Addiction Recovery. So I'm busy on them nights, and it happens to be on Tuesday, so keeps me busy. You know, a couple of things that I brought up numerous times in the past is the parking on streets. I never did hear any results on what you guys were talking about. I do live on a narrow street, and sometimes when you got 2 or 3 cars parked really close to there, I can promise you the fire trucks could not come through. And I do appreciate my officer who did come by, and I did see her get a couple vehicles out there at one time. But now it's snow removal time, and I can promise you I got to be nice because every one of these scouts are in my neighborhood. From Silma to Marcia to Zionist Circle and all the way down around there, I don't know how these guys can have so many vehicles. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, I know that we have an ordinance about parking on certain areas, but I think we need to enforce that because traffic is traffic, streets are for traffic, it's not for parking. And I wish that we could enforce that. My second one I'd like to speak about again, I know that it's something that's been put on for the proposal for the mountain corridor, is the traffic light on 3500 South and 6000 West. I think we need to expedite this a little bit more. The lines of traffic are really backing up to turn east or west on 35th, especially with the school. Now it's back in session. Whoever designed the parking in and out of that Whittier Elementary should have been backwards. It should have exited out by the park area where they got access to 35th South. The buses parked back there to pick up the kids. That's where the traffic congestion should have been, because you back up cars forever and it's backing them down 3500 South. So I wish that you could look at some of that kind of stuff there. And another one of my pet peeves is the speed limit on 6000. I know I've discussed that numerous times. Asked if we could even have an officer there in my yard. I didn't care if they posted there to radar the traffic. I then talked also about a sign that would register the speed limits. And yet we put one on Chatterley, which is just a small subdivision road. And I don't know if it's done any good or not, but I wish we could do something on a high impacted road with high speeds. Someone's going to get killed there. And it's not going to be on 35th side or 64. It's going to, or 4100. It's going to be somewhere in between. You have kids that cross the roads from the school, whether it be junior high, elementary. There's 3 schools on that road, and there's a lot of kids crossing. And you know as well as I do, they do not use crosswalks. Yes, they have posted a blinking yellow light, which is probably better than nothing, but I really wish that we could continue on looking at something that would register speed. That visual sign might slow people down. Again, I miss being around here. Haven't had nothing to complain about, so, you know, good news is good. So, hopefully, like this gentleman here that's been here for the last several weeks, I hope he can continue to be here for 2 or 3 years. You know, I'm sure you got sick of seeing me for those 2 years. So I thank you all for seeing me and being a part of this city, making it function. If I don't see you before Christmas, I wish you all a wonderful Christmas. And he was not there to assist Santa on yesterday or Saturday. I kind of love to have him at the Festival of Trees. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak publicly? Yes. If you'll come up and if you'll introduce yourself, give your address, and
Hi there, Mayor. Appreciate everyone here. Like my friend here, Jim, I've been here a couple of weeks too. And I'm sorry, my name is Vin Nguyen. My address is 3399 South 5530 West in West Valley City, Utah. I've been coming here a couple of weeks, like my friend, just to want to put the pet ordinance on the docket. I really appreciate your consideration. I went down to the shelter today as well to get the numbers, and I was able to get the numbers for the dogs that were in the shelter. From what I understand, they prefer to have 1 dog per kennel, and their number is 55 from what I understand. That's their preferred. They said they could expand for more if needed, but they're preferred to make sure that all the pets are properly cared for and everything is 55, and at this point they're at 52. And so they're you know, reaching what their preferred limit is, and I feel that if we can reconsider the pet ordinance in this situation, it could really help, you know, give more of these great pets, cats, dogs, you know, forever homes that could take them out of the shelters, lessen the burden on our animal services that could be put to better use. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you this week. Yeah, it's just, and you know, licensing will allow really good pet owners to be able to, you know, take care of pets while also generating more revenue for the city. And I've seen cities like Taylorsville and Salt Lake and stuff, they've made it work. In those cities, you know, they either have no limit or they have a variance that you could get, which allows you to have more. And they have not been, you know, overly burdened with complaints from residents or anything like that. I really appreciate your reconsideration on the pet ordinance, and if you can put it on the docket, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Anyone else? Yes, forward. And introduce yourself and your address, and we'll go from there.
Hey, my name's Alex Gonzalez. I live at 3232 West, 3450 South, just right down the road. I'm also here to ask that the pet ordinance be put back on the docket. My sentiments kind of echo what's been said already. I just really hope you guys would understand how big of an issue this is with people who live in our community. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no further comments, we'll come back to the council. And Mr. Pyle, any comments tonight?
Maybe just one real quick one, Mayor, for the public record and the inquiry that the scheduled consideration for the pet ordinance is on December 18th for the first step of the study meeting.
Yeah, so that'll be at our 4:30 meeting and you can see that, stay tuned to the city website where that information will be posted, but that's what the schedule is right now. Okay, then to the council, any comments? And Mr. Batosh was here, and I wasn't sure. He looked an awful lot like Santa Claus, and so. But Nick was helping at our event last night, and we certainly appreciated that. Fun event for families here in West Valley City, a tradition that has grown and has been a great success. With that then, next we go on our agenda, we're on item 8. This is on resolutions, resolution 18-227. This will authorize the city to execute a warranty deed to the Municipal Building Authority of West Valley City for property located at 4160 South, 6400 West. That's actually the property where our fire station is located, and it's actually built upon 2 different pieces of property, and we need to consolidate those onto one piece, one owner, and I think it has to do with our bonds too, if I recall correctly. And so this that we are proposing to do here is authorization to move forward with that, to consolidate that piece of property into one owner. That is the issue before us. And with that introduction, any further comments or from the council or a motion?
I would move for approval of resolution 18-227.
Second.
Property before us. Any further comments? Pretty routine stuff, but with that then, on these types of actions, we have to do an actual roll call vote. So we will go to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilwoman Lang?
Yes.
Councilman Bueller?
Aye.
Councilman Hune?
Aye.
Councilman Christensen?
Yes.
Councilman Norfelt?
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, next we have our consent agenda. Well, that one was pretty simple. These are even less of an issue. We have 2 resolutions, 18-228 and 18-229. These are right-of-way agreements, a warranty deed, perpetual easement, temporary construction easement, with items that we approve across the city. Roads and other things have to be built, and sidewalks. There are many different things that become involved. This is on a project down on the corner, well, not on the corner. It's behind the driver's license location there on 4700 South. There's a large empty field there where horses are. That's going to be built. There's some roads that need to be dealt with in that area. So these are on Lee Mauer Street, and are just routine things that we need to do to be able to do some construction there with our roads and work of that routine nature. With that introduction to our consent agenda, we typically do those as a group. To the council.
Mayor, I move for approval of the 2 items on the consent agenda.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further comments? Seeing none, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Nordfeld?
Yes.
Councilman Christensen?
Yes.
Councilman Hume?
Aye.
Councilman Bueller?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang?
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That completes our regularly scheduled agenda. Now, so you're aware, you're welcome to stay, but we do have another meeting we hold right after this, the West Valley City Municipal Building Authority. And we have a little bit of business to take care of there. But whatever you decide, whatever your schedule is, you picked a short schedule. So, yeah, don't come if there's chickens on here because those go till 11 o'clock. With that then, our final motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. Our regular city council meeting is adjourned.
I call to order a special meeting of the West Valley City Municipal Building Authority. Note that we have had an opening ceremony, a roll call, all members are present with the exception of Mr. Patisi. We have one resolution on the agenda tonight, Resolution 1803, which is to authorize the building authority to execute, is that right? To execute a warranty deed to the building authority. In favor and to acceptance of the warranty deed from West Valley City. And it's my understanding the City Council approved this 3 minutes ago. Anything else to be explained on that, Mr. Pyle?
No, sir, thank you.
Any discussion or motion?
I would move for approval of resolution 18-03.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Could we take a vote?
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Hume?
Aye.
Mr. Bigelow?
Aye.
Mr. Nordfeld?
Yes.
Mr. Christensen?
Yes.
And Chairman Bueller?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Don't believe we have any further business tonight, so one final motion would be in order.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? There are not. We are adjourning.